After Game 2, it really felt like the Raptors had control of this series despite a split in Toronto. Especially considering that Kawhi Leonard could not be stopped, Marc Gasol was shutting down Joel Embiid, and Brett Brown was experimenting with strange matchups that didn't appear to work very well. Well, all that changed in Game 3, as Philly's defense came alive, Embiid dominated, and the Raptors wilted in the fourth, giving firm control of the series to the Sixers. The Raptors offense went into its shell a little bit against the aggressive defense by the Sixers, as this kick out to Gasol finds him with 12 feet of space to shoot it. Then Lowry has 9 feet on his catch before Siakam finds nowhere to go on the right wing. Eventually, he does get near the basket but airballs before Scott Foster comes out of nowhere with a blocking call. Butler seems to have spooked Lowry for some reason, as he makes another catch with 8 feet of space without shooting it, instead taking a contested one-dribble pull-up that's woefully short. While this horn set clearly calls for a dribble handoff to Kawhi, you'd like Siakam to at least look at the basket and see 12 feet of space between him and his man. Simmons gets away with a trip as he hits Kawhi's foot sneaking through the gate, but you can see how great the pursuit was all night, as passes to what should be open shooters get bottled up before they can even get set. And even when they find Siakam on the baseline, they've got the ultimate rim protector to erase the layup. That said, Embiid got away with a lot of fouling on his blocks, and this one was no exception, with the forearm in the back and hitting a lot of the wrist rather than the ball. More great pursuit to harass would-be open shots as the pick and pop draws Embiid out of position, but Ennis is spot on in his position, then gets to the corner. Embiid doesn't close out well, but watch Jimmy Butler read this perfectly and just steal the pass out to Gasol, leading to a run out and an open court dunk. Joel Embiid entertained the Rockets crowd all night as Simmons gets beat middle by Kawhi, who tries an off-foot lefty layup, but Embiid just swats it away. Again, an awful lot of contact down low that the referees let go. Here's another block by Embiid on an isolation from fellow countryman Pascal Siakam. First, Embiid gets nailed with an elbow to the chin before getting a hand on the ball and knocking it loose. In his frustration, Siakam trips Embiid, and while this was never going to be a fight, it was 2 free throws plus the ball back for the Sixers. And when Jimmy Butler scored in the next possession, it effectively ended the game for the Raptors. Siakam has to be better than this and not get frustrated if the Raptors are going to have any hope in this series. Embiid got Siakam back for the trip not long after this by blocking his big dunk attempt. Upon further inspection, it doesn't look like Embiid got much, if any, of the ball, but the lead was too large and the crowd was in a frenzy. The beginning of the chippiness happened midway through the second when Lowry was boxing out Ben Simmons. I guess Ben was hoping he'd get a fingernail on this and decided to jump, which allows Lowry to get underneath him and cause him to fall to the floor. Lowry, however, decides to get his ass on Simmons' head, and Simmons bashes him in the balls in retaliation. Foster needed to be much better anticipating something and actually watching it, because none of the refs observed this, and it went unpunished. Lowry got into it with Ennis later in the game when a loose ball to the corner has the two of them going after it. Here's Lowry hip-checking him into the front row, but comically acting as if he didn't do anything. We had JJ Redick setting a cross screen and getting clocked by Serge Ibaka, plus Simmons getting a technical foul for throwing Siakam's after-the-buzzer shot back at him. Embiid's scoring proved too much for the Raptors' defense, particularly because he was hitting his outside shots. And after 3 made threes went down, they started going for his big and slow pump fakes, which got him into the lane and right to the rim. And he got this exclamation point of a dunk that practically levitated the building and may have signaled the end of the series for the Raptors. Even though Kawhi Leonard had another huge scoring game, it wasn't enough to get the Raptors over the hump, as they threatened a couple of times to get back the lead until succumbing to the onslaught. While the Raptors have to figure out a way to get better production when Leonard is on the bench, just check his on-off net ratings. It's astounding, really. Nick Nurse needs to play him 42 minutes minimum and begin shortening his rotations. Game 4 is a must-win for Toronto on a lot of levels. While it's a different team than the last few seasons, This is the kind of loss that would break their spirit and cause them to limp to the finish line as losers of the series. And if they let the Sixers' aggression on defense force them to pass up shots and overpass in their offense, then Philadelphia has a ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals and as good a shot as anybody to represent the East in the NBA Finals. Sports fans, Coach Nick again, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I've got a new online basketball membership where I share with you the best of what NBA teams are doing to help you be more successful on the court. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment below to learn more. And don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know how you feel about today's video. Check your settings to make sure you get notified each time we drop a new one. After all, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?